Sir, could I trouble you for a glass of warm milk? It helps put me to sleep.
You could trouble me for a warm glass of shut the hell up. Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Oh, dear.
What's up, guys? Boy Benny. A massive question that the entire nation is asking is, who the hell's in charge? Because it's clearly not Joe Biden. Joe Biden's handicapped. And all you need to do is actually just look like this deep into what's going on with Joe Biden, and you'll be able to see actually who's running the show. Somebody that I lovingly refer to as Lady Macbeth. Somebody who is a clear, absolute and total demon for power. Somebody who has been likened to Alice Cooper because of the stunning resemblance. And somebody who is prepping for the G7. Hey, question. Why would the First Lady, who should be like putting together bouquets of flowers in the Rose Garden and doing photo shoots with the doggies, and the puppies in the purple room of the White House, why is Lady Macbeth prepping for the G7 exactly with the presidential seal at what looks like the president's desk on Air Force One? Why would she be doing that? Oh, maybe because this is what the president looks like at the G7. This is what Joe Biden did during that actual literal meeting called the G7. Like these, really important 7 nations. Joe Biden just wobbled off into the bushes. So maybe that's why photos like this exist. And people are starting to get kind of pissed off at Jill Biden after the debate. In fact, the White House staff are beginning to leak about Joe Biden to the various press outlets. Democrats are beginning to become quite angry that Jill Biden has been shielding Joe Biden and his condition from the American people and from them and from the donors. This is really, really interesting. Check this out. Biden's behavior stunned many in the White House, in part because Biden's closest aides, led by Jill Biden, took steps early in his term to rope off the president. Even the White House residence staff, which serves as the first family in the mansion living quarters, have been kept at arm's length. Okay, so get a load of this. The people who are there, not political, they're just literally there to serve tea to the first family inside of their residence, because you get staff, right, when you're the president. And they bring you slippers, and they bring you a coffee, or they bring you anything you want, right? It's like, you like living inside of a penthouse. They were kept away from Joe Biden. They don't get a chance to interact with Joe Biden. The staff don't. A former residence official told Axios that Joe Biden was so protective of the president, they wouldn't let us do anything for them. So this is the White House, you're staying at a hotel, and somebody, room service, knocks and asks you if you'd like anything. And your wife goes up and screams get out of here. You're not allowed to see him. Is that normal? Maybe, if that happened at a hotel, then maybe they'd call the cops on you. The separation between the family and the resident staff is so big, so divided, the former official said, that it's not supposed to be, and usually isn't, even with the Trump White House. The official said the president is deeply appreciative of the resident staff's work, but is unused to be waited on regularly or having butlers, so some staff are often allowed to go home early. Sure, that's right, because Joe Biden's such a humble young man. Yeah, exactly. Joe Biden's not used to being waited on. Give me a break. His entire life, he has been a parasite who has expected all of the rest of us to foot his bills and to be waited upon hand and glove. Joe Biden isn't used to being weird. This entire thing is so super creepy. So Jill Biden stops, this is because she doesn't want leaks. She doesn't want White House staff doing what they're doing here, going to the press and talking about Joe Biden's actual condition. She doesn't want people to actually see Joe Biden's actual condition, which is why Jill Biden does stuff like this.
Nikki Haley, one of the Republican candidates, is calling for mental competency tests for those politicians over the age of 75. What do you think about that?
Ridiculous.
Would your husband ever take one of those?
I mean, we haven't even discussed, we would never even discuss something like that.
Oh, we would never even discuss anything like that, you know, because our discussions typically go like this.
You did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do?
Look at that image. Look at that image. This is the image of the modern Democrat Party, run by mentally ill, hysterical women with their eunuch husbands, with their balls in a jar and their brain in a jar in this situation, behind them, doing anything they can to appease their battle axe, mentally unstable wife. This is what's going on. And this, of course, is what Jill Biden did. For Joe Biden at the debate. Look at this. Joe Biden can't even go down the stairs. This is like probably a 3-inch stair. That's the way Joe Biden handled those stairs. Look at that with Joe Biden. Where have I seen this before? Oh yeah, the White House, where Joe Biden literally leads Joe Biden around by the hand everywhere he goes. Why? Because Jill Biden is the only person that actually is fully 100% aware of how handicapped Joe Biden is. I'm going to start saying that. I'm going to start using that term. It's actually handicapped. Person who called this out from 1,000 yards away, of course, Tucker Carlson.
And then people are like, what? No. So they had to go to Joe Biden, and he actually became the nominee and then somehow became the president. But it was obvious the whole time that he had no idea where he was, and that it was cruel, and that his grasping, horrible wife, who like poses as a doctor, was pushing this so she could go to state dinners. And everyone knew this. Like, there's not one person who didn't know this.
Everyone knew it, and everybody saw it, and now the entire world sees it. And Jill Biden, this Jill Biden right there, there you go. This lady is actually who's in charge. And that's become clear with the reporting. Look at this. Behind the curtain, Biden's salvation plan. Why it matters. Biden has zero interest in stepping aside, and First Lady Jill Biden and key family members agree, according to people who talk regularly with him. Jill Biden is keeping Joe Biden in because she wants to go to state dinners. So this is all happening so that Jill Biden can get the Michelle Obama treatment that she so desperately wanted. And now, here it is, literally right on time, Jill Biden gets a Vogue cover, a new one, for being, again, the wicked, demonic Lady Macbeth, who, I will state this one more time for the record, you are a demon. You are an evil person if you do this to your loved one. If your loved one has Alzheimer's or dementia or Parkinson's, and then you put them in a manual labor job, or you give them these like big, hard, heavy tasks, and there isn't a harder job on earth than being the president of the United States. And if you abuse them for power, then you are a witch. Then you don't love them. You hate them. And also you hate yourself. Because how could you live with yourself if you do this to your loved one? Sick. What a sick witch. Oh, whose classroom is this exactly? You know, it's funny because Jill Biden, who claims to be a teacher, nobody can ever find what class she teaches. Where exactly does she teach? Can you tell me what kind of a doctor she is? She talks all the time about her students. Who exactly are they? No idea. But she gets a Vogue cover. Yeah. Vogue magazine digitally released their cover of Jill Biden a month early after Joe Biden's debate performance. This tells you everything you need to know about who's running the country. 3 Vogue covers, 0 Vogue covers. Well, what does that tell you? Yeah, exactly. The real president was just featured on a cover for Vogue magazine for the 3rd time in 3 years. Melania Trump did not make a single cover as the First Lady. Incredible. In the Vogue article, here it is. If you think Jill Biden is allowing her senile husband to give up power, just read this quote from her. You want to know what real power feels like? Try to find yourself driven around in a motorcade, flashing police chaperone lights perimeter as you blaze down an empty highway, waiting cars back up on empty ramps as you pass, as if the world's holding its breath for you. So this apparently is a Jill Biden quote. This is what Jill Biden thinks about you. Getting, of course, ripped for this. Vague instead of Vogue. Vague. As Jill swains for Vogue, Here's the cover that should have been done. Vague. Yeah, that's exactly right. Look at this. Vogue gave Jill Biden another magazine cover while snubbing the hottest woman to ever serve in the White House as First Lady. That's exactly right. Jill Biden's been covering for dementia for years and is guilty of elder abuse. She's now on the cover of Vogue. This is why she and Hunter won't let him step down. They won't matter the minute he's not running. What it should look like. Exactly. Fashion magazine. Bias is obvious. 0 Vogue covers for our most beautiful and fashionable First Lady. It's Alice. Jill Cooper. Yeah. Tucker Carlson once again saying, Jill Biden is the driving force behind her husband's re-election campaign, just as she was in 2020, when other members of the family, including Joe Biden's sister, considered him too impaired to run. Saying that the Obamas really hate Jill Biden, that they are hostile with Jill Biden, and that it's deteriorated further in the hours and days since the debate. She's kept her husband cloistered away from anybody who might convince him to drop out. So Jill Biden is really very much the bad person here. Bill Ackman, writing an interesting little piece here on X. Final thing, Bill Ackman is for all intents and purposes, a Democrat. He's a billionaire. And now he says, I no longer blame Joe Biden for not stepping aside. He no longer has the mental capacity to make these judgments. It's becoming increasingly clear that the fault lies with Jill Biden. Jill Biden becomes irrelevant the moment her husband is no longer president. No more Air Force One, no more glamorous life, no more White House dinners with dignitaries, no more being treated like a queen traveling the world. Sorry to be harsh, but what has become entirely clear that the First Lady's values what is best for herself over her husband's health and safety and security at his age. Stress is a contributor to neurological deterioration. Doctors must have told her so. Think about how much stress that she's putting Biden under to continue her little fantasy life. Now, in public appearances, she treats him like an infant. You answered all the questions. There you go. Everybody saw it. Or an old man as she walks him off the stage. She gets the crowd wound up and cheering at events. Perhaps she even thinks the crowd is cheering for her. Her power has clearly grown as he gets weaker, and she likes the feeling of power. She speaks for the president when he can't say when he's napping. She tells his team and staff when he is available and when he is not. She likes being in control. Which begs the question, how many decisions of the president are actually made by the First Lady? Her friends likely don't tell her the truth, as they want to continue to be invited to the White House. The First Lady is the president. Jill Biden is destroying her own legacy along with the president's. The whole thing would be a tragedy if the Biden family didn't put the country in such great risk and turmoil. Perhaps she didn't understand in sickness and in health. Whew, I'll repost that one, man. That is absolute scorcher. An absolute barn burner. It really is incredible. Democrats now, realizing that they have been lied to, are effectively telling the media that they're done with the Biden. They're furious about this. Democrat donors threaten to pull the plug if Biden doesn't resign. Furious party insiders. How stupid do they think we are? They're straight up saying that the Biden team lied to them and has been lying to them for years. They're saying that they're done. They're done with the lies now. And that Jill is, of course, somebody who's Jill and Hunter behind her are the ones who have been truly running everything. And it's a really sick mess that this country's gotten itself into. Democrats are now calling, by the way, for Joe Biden to resign openly. So, you know what? Got to tell you, it sure is nice to see people actually get a little bit of what's coming to them. And this is what's happening with Joe Biden. It's all collapsing down around her. Finally, I'll play you this. This is the day after the debate. Look at Joe Biden's face.
North Carolina and across America, who are working
as Jill Biden squawks and screeches, look at
hard
Joe
to
Biden's
find
face.
a secure place in the middle class.
Look at this.
The moms who
Jill
worry
Biden
that
in
their
a wretched
children-
dress.
I saw in him then the same
Look at Joe.
character that I see in him today. And even though he has faced unimaginable tragedies, his optimism is undaunted. His strength
Is that normal?
unshakable. His hope is undeterred. I saw in him
You gotta
then
just
the
be. You just gotta be a witch, man. If you actually love somebody, you would never do this to them. Joe Biden loves one person on planet Earth, and that's herself. And that makes you a monster. And this makes you a bad person, by definition. Okay? So be better than Joe Biden. And it seems like the tide is turning. Ooh boy, tough days ahead. It's going to be interesting. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned. It's your boy Benny. See you.